and thank you for joining the Yuma County Library District for one of the September virtual programs. September brings many reasons to celebrate. There is Grandparents' Day, Neighborhood Day, a day to celebrate apple dumplings, and National Coffee Day. And we cannot forget our neighbors to the south and celebrate El Grito, where Mexico gained its independence from Spain. Have you ever noticed Constitution Day on your calendar? It is the day to celebrate the American Constitution. On September 17th in 1787, delegates at the Constitutional Convention signed the document, which is now deemed as the law of the land. Constitution Day became an official national holiday in 2004 with the passage of an amendment by Senator Robert Byrd to the Omnibus Spending Bill of 2004. Arizona newspapers dating back to 1920 show that then Senator Harding's attempts to celebrate the Constitution. The Morning Sun from 1922 included Governor Thomas E. Campbell's proclamation to declare September 17th as Constitution Day, where Arizonans used this day for patriotism and to study the explanation of the Constitution, to have a real knowledge of the rights and privileges of American citizens. Years later, in 1925 and 1928, Governor George W. P. Hunt had a similar proclamation in each of his terms. Not to be outdone, Governor John C. Phillips made a similar proclamation in 1929. Using the guidance from the governor's request to have real knowledge of the Constitution, let's have a question and answer session. The first question is, how many articles are there in the United States Constitution? To make it easier, I have narrowed it down to 3 options: 7, 13, or 27. There were 13 colonies, but if you guess 7, you are correct. There are 7 articles in the United States Constitution. Article 1 is the legislative branch, which is the House of Representatives and the Senate. Article 2 is the executive branch with the various day-to-day operations, and the head of that branch is the nationally elected president. Article 3 is the judicial branch, and that involves the Supreme Court. Article 4 involves the state's powers. Article 5 is the information on how to make an amendment to the Constitution. Article 6 deals with the debts, supremacy, and oaths. So essentially that's swearing in. Article 7 deals with the ratification, which details all of the people who signed the Constitution representing the original 13 states. Where in the Constitution can you read more about being eligible to vote as an American? Article 1, the Congress. Article 2, the Executive. Or Article 5, the Amendments. This one has 2 responses. Article 2, the Executive, detailed outlines on how to vote. Later amendments in Article 5 granted the right to vote to African American men in the 15th Amendment in 1870. As we learned last month from our programming, we covered the 1920 19th Amendment where women were granted the right to vote. In 1961, the 23rd Amendment allowed for the residents in the District of Columbia to vote. Later, in 1964, the 24th Amendment removed the polling tax in order to vote. And in 1971, the 26th Amendment allowed for 18-year-olds to vote. Later acts, not amendments, have made accessibility to vote much easier for the handicapped and elderly and military and overseas citizens. These are the Voting Accessibility for the Elderly and Handicapped, Uniformed and Overseas Citizens Absentee Ballot Act, National Voter Registration Act, and the Military and Overseas Voting Empowerment Act of 2009. Speaking of voting, I recently moved into Yuma, or moved within the county. Do I need to do anything in order to vote in the November 2020 general elections? No, nothing. My mail forwarding service will take care of my address change, or register again with the county. The most simple answer is that you must register again to update your information. Here are some dates for your consideration. August 2nd was the first day to request a one-time ballot by mail for the November general election. You have until October 5th to register to vote. October 7th is where early voting begins and the first day that counties will mail ballots to voters. October 23rd is the last day to request ballot by mail or sign up for permanent early voting list. The state's website recommends that October 27th is the day that you mail your ballot back, and or consider locating your nearest drop box location to ensure delivery. Finally, on the first Tuesday of November, it is Election Day. All ballots must be received by 7 p.m. If you want or need clarification on any of this information, please call Yuma County's Election Services at 928-373-1014 or the County Recorder's Office at 928-373-6034. You may always go onto their website at yumacountyaz.gov. For people more familiar with the yellow footprints from boot camp, the Department of Justice enacted the Military and Overseas Voting Empowerment Act to allow for military members to vote more easily in their home state. Please go to www.fvap.gov for more information to vote within the service member's home state and to ensure you meet those states' deadlines. Recently, I've seen my census notice. There is a part that says your response is required by law. Su respuesta es requerida por ley. Where is this in the Constitution? The Constitution states that the Congress is to perform the census in such manner as they shall by law direct. To learn more about this provision, direct your search towards Article 1, Section 2. To help the people counting, avoid someone knocking on your door, you can complete the census online at my2020census.gov. Sometimes learning about the Constitution for school or even citizenship classes can be boring. Is there a way to make it fun? Yes, of course. The Federal Library Depository Program worked with the Government Publications Office to develop Ben's Guide. There are worksheets and even virtual games divided in different age levels to make learning about the Constitution and American history more fun. Go to bensguide.gpo/gov for the games and more information. Thank you for joining the Yuma County Digital Programming today. My hope is that when you see street signs, stamps, or even frigates named after the Constitution, you may be able to share a fun fact about the founding of our nation when on September 17, 1787, 39 of the 55 delegates present at the Constitutional Convention signed the document. If you want to learn more, please consider checking books out from our physical and digital collections. Hasta tenemos una copia del Día de la Constitución disponible para leer. And here are a list of the websites that helped me gather this information and images for you today.